listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show.
Hello, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show. We are here with two very, very amazing people, but first let me introduce myself.
Thank you for calling us amazing.
I am Kaori Takee, and not the amazing people is Daniel Weiss.
Hello.
Not the amazing person.
Kevin John.
How are you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in.
And I am so happy to invite Angela Hoover, the impressionist / comedian from last season, as well as Branden James, the amazing opera singer.
Thank you very much.
Right.
That's for us. We actually like to call ourselves Brangela, just so you know.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see it. Hashtag that, viewers. If
We
you
call-
Hashtag Brangela.
We call ourselves Cavaniel.
Oh, that's good.
we
That
do.
works.
And it's catchy, too.
It is. It
is.
sounds
Yes.
like Cavalli or something.
I like,
Exactly.
I
Or
like
Cavassier.
Brangela better.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we're going to call you guys. So, Brangela, questions,
Perfect.
stuff like that.
Try not to
each
speak
other.
at once.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys finish each other's sentences. It's so cute already.
That's why, I brought, you asked me, Kaori, to be on the show, and I was like, I need to think of someone funny so I look funny. But actually, maybe I'm not going to look funny because I'm sitting next to someone who's
And after
hilarious.
eight people said no, he said, what about Angela?
Yeah, like she lives in a 60-mile
she
radius.
would be
Let's call her.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh, shush.
thank you.
No.
It's not bad.
Still.
I love how everyone keeps in touch still up to this day, and the friendships you guys have built. It's really cool. We were in the screening room with these two, and they were just having so much fun. And it was,
I actually asked Taylor to come with us,
Yeah.
and he said that he was too busy telling racist jokes in Orange County tonight.
Oh,
That's actually
wow.
what he said.
See,
He's
you're,
funny.
You're pretty funny.
Well, I'm just repeating what they say, and then I sound funny. It's perfect.
Oh,
So-
well, his loss.
Since you guys are here in the studio, we just wanted to do a quick wrap up of this episode of The Talent, our favorite auditions, and then maybe our least favorite, so we can really just bring it on to you guys. So, guys, let's talk. What was your favorite couple acts of the night? Kevin?
I'm gonna just go with this one particular act, and I'm gonna say this act because it was just so unpredictable. There's this guy that came out in a baby outfit. All right.
That was
Stole
amazing.
mine.
That was
baby,
amazing.
I love stealing things. Usually I steal hearts, but
Oh,
at least
watch
this time
out now.
that's never
There was
happened.
a joke coming in there, but I'm not going to say it.
Thank you, Kelly.
We all
Thanks.
thought it.
Yeah.
We're all a
But
little
anyone who can kill Midnight Train to Georgia wearing a baby
Oh my
bonnet,
God.
it's like, I'm a fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because when you see somebody dress and come up to the stage like that, you're expecting a caricature or some kind of humorous, goofy act to not be taken serious.
Yeah.
And I think we all kind of predetermined that. So when he does open his mouth and the man sings like Luther Vandross to the 10th power,
Yeah.
you're like, hot damn!
And he did not break at all. He
Yeah.
just was like, pay no attention to this
to the
10-foot
baby
bonnet.
outfit. Exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, do you not realize you have a baby? But that's the thing. He was so good, you kind of forgot he was wearing a baby outfit because you were listening to his voice. I was like, God dang. So that was the biggest surprise. And I think probably takes the cake for my favorite.
Okay. I like the fact that he came in there saying, look, I'm just wearing this to be different.
Right.
And
Right. It was
worked.
a surprise element. It was really cool.
And he probably didn't look different in that huge audition room because like so many people,
Really?
crazy costumes and stuff when you're in there.
So when you are in the audition rooms, do you guys feel just completely mishmash in this overwhelming?
Oh my! There's every walk of life in there, and like
Yeah,
all these
it's like-
dangerous animals, and like you're wondering like, what the hell did they do?
And we're always like, there's always a Michael Jackson. There's always a
Yeah.
just all kinds of costumes, animals, magic. I mean, swords. Someone's always doing card tricks. Everybody's doing a little performance.
So there's a
somewhere.
lot of practice going on backstage
And
as
then
well.
there's some people like going, to themselves, you know, like.
But that's what's so cool about this
They
show
didn't
is
pass
that
this-
it's like harkens back to the Great American Variety Show, and I think that's why it's always the number one show of the summer, because it's like it's such interesting dynamic. Like every walk of life is welcome, and it's all ages and all everything.
I love
it's
that
awesome.
about it. That it's all ages, and that, you know, it's like all these people are equally passionate about doing this thing that everyone thinks that they're meant to do. You know, so it's yeah.
Now, is there a particular, I guess, a particular situation or person or something that happened in the audition room that totally stands out? Was like, okay, this guy had no idea he was going to vomit right in front of me and then eat it, or something, like just something really random. Or
Well, let's see.
For me, it was Anna Christine. Like she was this
Oh, I
little
remember her.
girl, and then she sat down at the keyboard, and people were just like, you know.
Yeah,
And she just
she was
belted out
she
that
was
song
10.
like
Her
a 30-year-old.
Yeah, she's 11 now. Actually, I keep in touch with her and her mom a lot. And I was at their house a couple weeks ago in Vegas, and she's working on all this. Like, she changes all these like indie covers into these really amazing things. She plays guitar now, and she's gonna be Adele someday or
Yeah.
something. Like, it's
Yeah.
just it's gonna happen.
She made it pretty
That
far last
surprised
season,
me.
if I
Yeah.
recall.
Yeah, she did.
to be so young too, you know.
Yep.
Daniel, what was your favorite?
I personally like the I think it was 25. He reenacted the entire movie Masters of the Universe by himself in 90 seconds. I thought it was great. I thought his Dolph Lundgren was spot on. That was, to me, my favorite act.
When
And-
someone can do Dolph Lundgren spot on, you
That's
got to
it.
give him 4 yeses.
yeah,
you know.
and which he did, and they even rang the golden buzzer, even though they gave him all 4.
What
the
are you
golden
talking
buzzer.
about?
What is he talking
Did
about?
you guys not see
who
that
is
You guys
act?
don't know
Who's
about
Dolph
the golden
Lundgren?
buzzer?
That act was great, and
was great.
honestly, his Courtney Cox, could have
Right.
done a little better.
Hold on, Daniel.
But other than that, I thought he was perfect.
This is our weekly audition is handling Daniel Weiss because he's on a different planet.
That happened. I don't know what you guys were watching.
Well, we were watching America's Got Talent.
I was watching my brain.
Oh, right.
Right.
How about you two? What were your favorite acts?
I really loved the Sons of Serendip. Is that what they're
Oh,
called?
I
mean,
like them
I don't
too.
know if the name is so catchy. They might not want to work on that. But like, so I like to call myself a classical crossover artist, and I think the fact that this guy was singing that Keen song, Somewhere Only We Know, and then there was a harp and a cello and another instrument,
Yeah.
and they were playing like classical style. I thought it was such a cool blend.
Like a symphony.
Yeah,
there
and it
with
was
a-
beautiful. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I agree. The same group for me, and I also loved. I mean, not only the quality of his voice, but the fact that he didn't oversing. I was like, thank you. Yeah, it just. I think that now, like you're getting to hear people's tone so much better when they're not so busy over singing. Do you agree? Like
Yeah.
it's just when I hear someone over singing in the second verse, I'm like, oh.
Or
Like,
just
wait a little,
overperforming in
So
general.
you're not a
Overperforming,
fan
yeah.
of Christina Aguilera then?
Actually, I like her, but I do like her songs where she kind of,
When
Really,
she's
like,
not
soft
well.
and subdued.
yeah, where she just, builds up
When
to
she's
it
not
slowly.
getting too
She tempers
gospel-y.
it with, yeah.
Like
yeah,
say
yeah.
something. She's like just sings just like with half of her voice, and that she doesn't riff at all, and it's really like it's vulnerable. It's
Uh-huh.
cool. Yeah.
I like that word, vulnerable, for music.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I mean, he's a
right,
musician.
yeah.
He
That's
knows
what
all
you
the
got-
terms.
That's what you got to show.
Well,
So you got the show. Yeah.
I would say my favorite act, because you guys picked solid ones, I guess I would go with the pig because he was so cute.
I know.
Oh,
she
I-
loved that pig. I did too, but yeah.
I was dying and he got a hole in one by cheating. Only a pig would get away with that.
I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I can't get into the animal thing.
Oh,
I-
really?
No, I don't know. Like maybe at the 4-H club, like the county fair, it's cool. But I don't know. It's not my thing.
Were you
Yeah.
thinking
Oh.
that his biggest talent is bacon?
No.
Yeah, I mean, probably like it would like that maple bacon or
That
like
was a pretty cute
bacon Bloody
pig.
Mary.
Oh man.
It was like a cartoon. It was adorable.
it was like wagging his tail or her tail.
I
and
know.
then didn't want to kiss Heidi.
You
but
know,
then
you know
it
what
did.
this is called America's Got Talent, not America's Cutest Animal. All right.
Exactly.
So,
I'm
with
you.
that being said, I want to see a talented act,
Well-
and I don't think a pig putting a circular thing around a golf ball.
It did
is-
recite the Magna Carta though, and I thought that was just amazing. To me, seeing a pig recite the Magna Carta that should have
Once-
gone through.
Once again.
First of all, it wasn't
what
the Magna
were you
Carta. It was a
watching?
declaration
Oh,
of
there's also, you probably agree with me, the magic guy.
Yeah.
That did the magic close up. He had control of the room.
He was great.
He had chutzpah. I liked him a lot.
I agree.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying this from every 14-year-old around the world, but he was kind of like a cooler version of Collins Key. Like
What?
honestly, yeah, no, he did
What?
this close-up magic.
Did he have
Daniel.
swag magic?
I understand why Collins is cool and like he's a good-looking guy. He's got those really awesome eyes, and he's like 6'3". But
The
this
tweens
guy,
love him.
this guy was so fluid and just seemed like such
Very
a
real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was not apologetic, and he kept calling himself ghetto, and I was like, you're cool.
Yeah, he
and
is
the
cool.
things he did were actually, I was stunned. Like I was like, how did he put those two balls in Mel
Yeah.
B's hand? I didn't get it.
Well,
We'll
it's not
leave
the
it at
first
that.
time.
The first
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
No,
two balls in Mel B's hand. Whoops.
We're in
I was about to say-
junior high.
Wait, before,
insert joke.
before we go into our worst acts of the night, sorry in advance, let's go to a quick commercial break about Maria Menounos' new book.
Roll it, Steve.
Roll it. Somebody.
We're
Now out on
rolling,
Amazon.
rolling.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here, and I want to share my newest book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, with you. Basically, every woman always stops me and asks me how I lost 40 pounds, so I decided to put it all in one book. Everything I did to lose 40 pounds step by step, and how you can too, is in here. I did it with no time, no money, and no willpower, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold, and it's out June 3rd. So I hope you guys love it. I hope it helps you in your weight loss journey, and please, please tweet me and update me on your progress at Maria Menounos. Thanks.
That's right, guys. Go get her book. It's available now. Getting Fit and Pretty.
If you want a body like Kaori's, get the
No.
book.
Or Dan's or Kevin's.
If you want a
or
body
Angela's or
like
Brandon's.
mine, eat once a day.
Oh,
Okay, we don't want to starve ourselves. Okay, so with that being said, I just want to say one more wild card group before we get
Sure.
into the worst groups of the night.
Yes, please.
And, I'm sure some of you guys may roll your eyes at me for actually liking this one.
Oh boy.
But there was this guy, I think his name was Bob, and he was,
Bob. It was Bob.
it was Bob, thank you.
Definitely.
Because of course you saw it.
I did.
And he was a pro archer.
I was going to say, you're
And
going
he-
to pick the archer.
The
Yes.
archer. And the reason why I liked it is not only was he so skilled at getting the arrow through those little tiny balloons or spaces that he was trying to get it through, but he was very comedic with his presentation.
He was.
And
He
a
was
lot
a
of-
showman for sure.
It was a showman. And a lot of times people forget that, like when they're doing tricks or things, or a magician, is like, you have to realize it's not necessarily just about the skill of the actor doing,
Right.
but being a show. And the way that he was able to incorporate that, I thought was hilarious.
Also taking all those ageism arrows coming from Howard Stern. I mean, like just standing
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
That's a huge stage. And most people, even us performers, we're not used to being in front of that many people.
Yeah.
And to hold it together when someone's throwing pot shots at you, about your age, that's
Yeah,
not
actually,
easy
as
to
a
be like,
Especially with a
He was
bow and arrow.
yes, we
77.
get he's not 40. Who cares? So that's the whole point of America's Got Talent. So I
But
thought
when
he
he
was a
said
little
it
harsh
was
on him about that.
77 and the Love Boat music came playing in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna love this for sure.
Yeah.
But when
It
he
was
shot
something
an
like
arrow at Heidi's head and it went right through,
That was your
I
favorite
thought that
part.
was great. That's skill and
Again,
talent.
what are you talking
Guys,
about?
I definitely watched the show tonight.
Since you want to bring another good one, I just want to also mention the dance team, the girls.
Yeah.
They were completely precise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
With the
unison.
fans.
That was precision,
And
yeah.
I really like that as well.
Flowers.
I mean, I just wish it could have been a little more just oomph to it. You need
Yeah,
a little more
I
just
agree.
oomph. It was just
Little
really,
oomph.
it was nice classical kind of fanning, and it was very precise. It was kind of like watching synchronized swimming. It doesn't really have that oomph, but it's very nice just to see everything. I wanted some oomph.
I think it gets harder every year because you're used to seeing such amazing talent and such innovative creativity that you're just, the level just keeps getting raised.
Exactly.
And I think even the
Exactly.
audience expects the last year to one up the next year to one up the last year, and it's hard when you see similar acts. You're like, oh, I saw that last year, and it just becomes sort of.
When you hopping off on that, when you saw the last act of the night, did that kind of make you remember your audition process because you also had that story with your family and stuff as well.
Yeah, no, he really touched me. I like that guy. Justin Rhodes, was that
Yeah,
his name? Yeah. No, I love the story with his dad and that he was there doing it for his dad. I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, they panned to his dad with tears running down his face. And you know, he was a handsome guy playing a cool song. Like, who's not going to like that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted him to do Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, and see if he got the same reaction from the audience.
He has to save something for Vegas.
That's
Right.
true.
That's true.
But
That's
speaking of Baby Got Back, there was the professional twerker.
twerker. She
Yeah,
was
and
great.
she did
Oh,
I
yeah.
Like Big Butts. She got back.
And she did have back. Yeah.
That?
But she won't be ass back because she got X.
No, she made it through.
No,
She
Yeah.
did make it
Yeah.
through. I was making sure you guys were paying
Come
attention.
on. Did you not watch the show? We were sitting there the whole time together watching the entire show. I was there.
And another random outburst from Daniel Weiss.
And that is going to be my worst act of the night, is that twerking. Because, yes, it's a thing, but I don't...
Kaori, is it because you can't twerk? Is that why?
That has nothing to do with it. I just think that it's not going to be worth more than 30 seconds of fun.
And it's kind of like, okay, so you're going to let the girl go through because she's twerking, but then you're not let someone else go through with cats that are jumping through hoops. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
They
you know
literally
what?
jumped through hoops
You know
to
what
get
though?
there.
But you guys see, the problem is you guys don't understand the artistic talent it takes to twerk. Okay? For you to put your body in that motion, move your hips, stick your gluteus maximus out at a 90-degree angle,
Gluteus maximus,
and move it
that's
up
amazing.
and down, and that is a very, very hard. I dare you guys to try that.
Well, I was about to say
up.
that Kevin has mastered twerking, and he said earlier tonight that I was going to show all of you.
Please put that on Instagram.
I
Kevin twerking.
will be sure not to do that, but thank you for, disclosing that to our viewers.
Right. Let
I didn't
everyone
realize
down.
that twerking was actually. Did you when she was explaining like how to do it? Like it's an upward motion.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
kind
know
of
that
like
I was like, how do you do that?
it's basically pelvic hydraulics, and you're moving them in a hydraulic state.
It's
But
harder than it looks, I will
boom,
grant you.
thank you
yeah.
very much. Miley Cyrus taught us
Personal
that.
experience.
Have you heard of this new thing called slapping?
What's that?
Where you actually like slap,
I have an idea what
you
that
do.
means.
It's kind of like twerking, but you slap your cheeks
It
together.
sounds fun.
Oh, you're talking about making it clap.
Making a clap.
Clap.
Making
Oh my
it
God.
Clap.
Same
Whatever.
thing.
How
Same
in the
thing.
world
Make it
does that
clap.
happen?
You have to have a really big
Badonkadonk.
Thank you.
What were your guys?
Nicki Minaj can make it clap.
I want to see an entire audience of people just making it clap.
What was your?
They're like, good job! Clap, 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 clap.
That sounds like a totally different story.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
No, but with their
Ron
butts.
Jeremy show, but go ahead.
What would be your
Who's
worst
that?
favorite acts?
My worst?
Worst acts. Period. Of the night.
I didn't really write down the ones that were horrible, but
That's good.
Diverse.
Diverse. Okay.
Yeah, those two dudes were like Will Catan and Chris Catan and Will Ferrell in that movie.
The boy band.
Like the
Then, of
Jersey
course,
guys.
like as a mom, I look at them and I feel bad for them because then they get off stage and they're like,
But they were so
the
gracious
heck
in their
happened?
exit, weren't they?
That's the thing. I feel like, gosh, the people that are the most genuine and humble and real, like those are the people that I gravitate. I mean, yes, they have to have talent, absolutely. But if someone's out there like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't really care what you're gonna do after this. I'm just turned off already.
I totally agree. You don't want someone that's going to boast and be arrogant and prideful. But the thing I would say about these two kids, okay, I'll admit, obviously their skills were not on a 10. They probably weren't even on a 6. But where they won me over was just their charisma and the fact that they were having fun out there.
Yes.
They were having a good time. And they probably knew going in, they probably weren't like, well, we are the most talented people in this competition. They probably knew that. They probably just wanted to have fun, and they did that.
And I love that they said we want to bring the man band back or whatever.
Man band,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
I almost think they aired that portion just to show Mel B charging her cell phone.
Right. Which she is constantly on her phone. Like I've been in the audience or on stage. She's just like I think I don't know.
So what
Probably
is she tweeting?
She must be tweeting.
Let's
right?
say, how is she, while she's working, being able to have her phone out there?
Angry Birds.
It seems like you shouldn't, right?
Angry
but
Birds,
She's
yeah.
Mel B. She can do what she wants.
Angela, what was your least favorite of the night?
I have to say, gosh, I feel like they didn't show a ton of terrible ones. I mean,
So I have a question for you though. What did you think of? Was it Jodie Miller, the
Jodie
the
Miller.
comedian?
That's
Because
the
I thought
question.
she was
She
really
did-
funny, and Angela was sitting there like this the whole
don't
time.
make me look like a bad person. It
She
wasn't
kept
like
saying
this.
she's not going to take my spot.
Yeah.
You weren't there. But,
I was there the
no,
whole time.
she did very well. I thought she was funny. Like I was telling, obviously when you have comedians watching other comedians, we are probably the worst audience because we've seen a lot,
Critique,
so we're not
yeah.
laughing out loud. But there's
Sure.
people that I think are funny they don't laugh out loud at. I thought she was great. I thought she was solid. I thought they were right. She had jokes from the beginning to end. It was all strong. It's just,
But-
my sensibility is a little different, and it doesn't mean it's not funny. It's just like some people don't think I'm funny. What I'm doing is funny. It's not their sensibility. I like silly comedians. Like Howie makes me laugh out loud because he's always doing something ridiculous and silly. But I still think she did great. It just because I didn't laugh out loud doesn't mean I don't think she was funny.
Well, and in addition to that's the thing with comedy. Comedy is so subjective. Like, you could have one particular audience that would crack up laughing at that. Now, if that lady went to the Comedy Store on Tuesday nights and did that, it probably would not go over well with the crowd that's there. So
I thought she was funny.
no. I'm not dismissing her her humor.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good for that particular audience, but I was not laughing out loud and like, oh, Roland, like she's so freaking hilarious. Like I thought it was cute. She, it was cute material. That's
It
how I
didn't
said.
sometimes something like just hits your funny bone,
Yeah.
and it didn't hit your funny bone. It's
Didn't
like,
hit any bone for me. But
yeah, it just like, I think it's like the more ridiculous the humor. I think that's kind of what makes me laugh or something. I don't know.
I got to give mad props to comedians though, because I think you've mentioned this before, and many of the judges at different times have said, like a singer, like on this show, we just sing cover songs. Like it's kind of easy, but a comedian, like they have to write their own material and make it funny, and like sit in a theater of 5,500 people, where and on actually in those TV tapings, it's hard to hear, especially when someone's speaking and you're trying to reach somebody who's on the third tier or something. Like that's hard. Like singing a cover song, not as difficult. So sometimes I think that in that way the competition is kind of outweighed, but comedians definitely have the hardest job, I think.
I
So
also
mad
feel-
I
props.
think it's just the instant judgment you get as a comedian.
But I also feel that a lot of times you have to be expecting comedy to enjoy it. It's not one of those things that you can be watching something else and then a comedian comes out and you're like, all right, great, let's watch some
Right,
stand-up. You have to
exactly.
be in the headset. So
So like I'm gonna read a poem about my dead father, and now everybody, Angela Hoover.
And now,
it's like,
exactly. So
Yeah,
that's
for
got to
sure.
be even tougher. If it's a stand-up competition, then you have to be funnier than the other stand-ups, but you have to go against an opera singer or dogs.
yeah, right. But the thing about Jodie is like I am rooting for her because she just seems like a solid person, and she's been working at this for a while. And like I say, she didn't have a lot of ums and ahs. She didn't. Her material wasn't like broken. It was all solid and condensed into one topic that I thought she did a good job at. So I really do hope she does well. I
Yeah.
think she will.
I think she will
She's
too.
seasoned. You can tell she's
Yeah.
a seasoned comedian.
And there needs to be more female comedians
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, Angela.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Chelsea Handler can't be the only one.
She can't be
It's
one,
true.
period.
Whoa, whoa,
What?
whoa.
No offense to anyone who's friends with her.
Disrespectful.
So we want to take this
What?
opportunity
What's up?
to move on and have like just a cool like discussion with you guys, with your experiences. We're going to ask you a lot of questions. Just
We're going to interrogate you guys for
Yeah.
the next 30 minutes.
all right, we will.
we have handcuffs. No, I'm just
We
kidding.
will reveal some
kinky.
things and some things we will not.
First question, are you friends with Chelsea Handler and am I offensive? Go.
You are not offensive. You are.
Good enough.
You're awesome. Chelsea, I'm not friends with her. Although I did used to perform at the same club with her at the Comedy Union. I used to watch
Oh.
her perform, and I would tell her my kids were in the car, and she'd be like, "I'm worried about them." She would just be kidding, but yeah. So she's. I used to watch her perform at a couple different places.
I love Chelsea Handler. I love that
She's
she
very
shows up
funny.
looking like a mess all the time and doesn't really care about anything or what anyone thinks.
Well, that I can relate to.
And then she's like, I'm done with my show and now I'm going to write a book and go on tour. Like she's just cool and unpredictable and she doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit. Can
she
you
doesn't
say
give
that?
a shit. Yes, she doesn't give
All
a
right.
shit.
Yeah, no, I
have
love
to
that
thank
brand
you-
about her.
I have to thank you both for answering honestly to my joke question.
Brandon, I have a question for you
Please.
because you were one of the singers.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose America's Got Talent as an outlet rather than American Idol or The Voice?
Well, American Idol because I'm way too old. Scratch it off the list.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the
What do they cut off
cutoff
the age
is
at?
30.
20.
45, I think they
30.
cut off.
I think it's 30. Yeah.
Let's say if it's 20, how did freaking
I'm a
Taylor
few
Hicks
years
get in
older.
there?
You don't look over 30. But.
Thank you. I auditioned for American Idol twice and The Voice twice. I never made it past the first table of producers.
Oh.
I got some nice feedback sometimes, but they're always like, we don't know what to do with you. Like, your voice
Wow.
is great, but what
You're
can
not
we
a
do?
pop star.
No,
which
yeah,
is
I'm
what
not
they're
a pop-
looking.
yeah, I'm not
you
a
know,
pop
in
singer.
traditional.
Yeah.
terms.
So
time out, when
America's
you-
Got Talent was accepting of my talent and everyone's talent, which is what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, when you did audition for The Voice and American Idol, you did opera, right? You didn't do...
No, not really. I did sort of crossover like in between.
Okay.
But I wanted to try and be like as authentic as I could be because I'm not like I can't reflect Beyonce. It's just never gonna happen. So I was like I shouldn't do that. But
I mean, I see
they weren't
Jay-Z in
going
you,
for it.
though.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
Total
some
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, like some
Yeah.
some Solange. I could. I mean,
you can hit people. All right,
I
that's
could
a
beat
start.
somebody down.
Solange.
It was very
Solange?
French, huh? Solange.
Solange.
What were your interactions
Noels.
like with the judges? Heidi and Howie and Howard. Like, who are your favorites?
Okay, now this is what people don't know. Like, I think the friendliest to all the contestants off stage, and it's not like we all sat back in the green room and hung out, but when they would walk by for the first time, like the friendliest to me was Howard Stern.
Howard Stern was.
What?
Yes. Now I know
can
it's
see it.
surprising for me to say
Wow.
that because he was so hard on me the second time, but then he was nice to me on the third time. He was the one that was the most gregarious with everybody, like, hi, where everyone else was kind of, doing their business or walking straight through, which
Wow, that's
which I get
crazy.
too because they're trying to focus and whatever. But yeah, he was the one that was really open to like saying hello to everybody. I
It's
thought.
so
What do
funny
you
because
think?
when people find out you were on the show, they always ask like, "How is Howard Stern?" And I find him to be like so incredibly caring and sincere and like soft on this show, and much different than his radio personality because we're so used to him saying "f-bomb this" and "f-bomb that" and "she's a that." But it's not like that on this show, and he shows a completely different. That's just his radio persona. That's not really who he is at his core. But my favorite judge was definitely Heidi Klum. I have a mad crush
Corey,
on her.
don't throw anything at him.
No.
Don't throw anything.
And I liked
I love
Mel
her to
B,
death.
of course, because she was so nice to me.
So everyone has their own personal favorite.
Yeah. How
their
about you guys?
accents.
Who did you guys hate? What judge on
I
there?
hate it. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think there was a.
Who was the
there's not a-
bitch behind the scenes? Like,
Oh, behind.
We
the
didn't
no,
really
you
get
know
to
what?
see behind
Nick
the
Cannon.
Honestly, like that theater's so
Cannon.
big, they have the contestants in one wing,
Yeah.
and they have the judges in the other wing. Like we didn't have a ton of interaction with them. I
Not
wish we could
really.
be like, we're pals, but
No.
yeah.
Well, kind of on that, were there contestants that once you got past Vegas, that were just like, "I'm gonna beat you"?
There was. I
Like, don't eat. Like,
And they
I'm
said
not
it
gonna
just-
be friends with you. We're competition.
Right.
there was a little bit
And
of
I'm
that.
gonna beat you.
I'm gonna
if you
beat
hear
you.
me the first time.
Hey,
Yeah.
did you hear that part where I was gonna beat you?
Yeah. I heard that like a lot from everybody. Like the jugglers especially were like, I'm gonna beat you, Angela. I was like, okay. fine, whatever."
Yeah, there was some of that, but it more came in the form of just people being quiet and staying away from each other and like in their own zone,
yeah.
as opposed
It
to
really was like crazy supportive. To
Yeah.
say I wish it was more
Aw.
drama. Yeah,
Yeah,
like people,
yeah.
and then you make certain connections with people, and then they find out you got through. They're like, "Ah," you know.
Speaking of
pretty kinda cool.
connection, don't you guys have an interesting story of how your friendship flourished?
well, we were
I wish we
basically
had like a montage of it. Yeah.
We
Angela
do.
and I,
We are. Yeah.
Brangela, we cried more than anyone
We
on the
cried-
show.
If they
And
brought
we-
up his mom or my kids of what I wanted to give my
It's
kids,
like the
because I always say
floodgates open.
my biggest dream in life is not to have my name in lights. It's to give my kids like a house with a backyard and all the deal. And so when they would ask me about that, And then they would keep asking me, and they would delve farther and farther. And then I'd be like, and then he'd finish his interview, and we'd look at each other, and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe. And we would be laughing so hard. And we were like, I am cried out. I can't even believe that I just cried. And it is so embarrassing. And then you could do 20 interviews, and you could cry on 2 of them. And then like every time they show you, they'll cut up that one into 8 pieces of you crying.
I know. I'm still kind of mortified that I
Angela
cried
the
so much.
comedian, and then it would cut to me being like, so it was
But
great.
you don't ugly cry though. You still look pretty.
Oh, thanks,
That's true.
Aw.
I love her.
Even when you're
Love.
crying, you're beautiful too.
Stop
Brandon.
it.
When you cry, you don't look ugly.
How about Brandon? You sing that.
I don't know that song.
I
Was
don't know.
it real?
Sing it anyway.
It's only called "All of Me" by John Legend. It was like the #1 song in the country.
Don't feel bad.
You guys
I
listen
guess
to
it
it?
was just didn't sound like John.
Oh, damn.
Wow! Did I just get dissed by an opera singer?
Dissed.
Yeah.
Wow!
Wait, did I just get dissed by someone who's really talented? Is what you just said. Oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody who's so much better than me just made fun of me.
Better than me.
I didn't say all
as
that.
a person,
I mean,
he's
you
better
were,
than
you were a star on VH1, right?
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah.
But you know the thing
Let's go
is,
to the clip.
No
with
clip.
nothing. The fans didn't tune in to hear about my experiences on VH1. We want to get back to you
but I
guys.
did.
So we'll talk to me after the show.
Well, I do
All
have
right.
a question, kind of on what you said about cutting the crying.
Yeah.
Were there things you went back and watched, and you're like, that's not how that happened? Did they, through editing, they made it look different?
I've always
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. What
I've
about
always
you?
said to people that the judges were or the producers rather were very transparent with us, and they said our #1 objective is to
to
make
make
good
you
TV.
cry. Oh, sorry.
Same difference.
Which, yeah,
Same
crying
difference.
tears equals good TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
they-
were all from England, so they're like, oh, right, but back to the bedrooms for your children, Angela. What exactly would they look like? You know,
Yes.
it's just like,
Oh, I really like that, but could you add this, and could you really go to that emotional place this time? They would just they would like draw it out of you, and you were sitting in those chairs for like
feel
3
like you're
hours,
kind of
and
circling
finally
it with your crying. If you could really be there. You're starving, you have nothing, your kids are on the floor. What would that feel like? You know?
Your
Yeah.
kid is dying. His last words to you, what would it be?
And
Pete,
stop
take me
stop
there.
smiling.
Got nothing. Yeah.
What would you guys say was like?
That was a really good impersonation of the producers.
It's almost like you do impressions for a
I know you
living.
would never
crazy.
imagine, right?
It's crazy.
What would you say was your proudest moment during the whole AGT?
And don't say
experience?
this, because we know.
This was #1, obviously, but after this show, mine was the first audition. That was like, okay, that went pretty good, you know? I mean, when I watched it later, I actually was more critical of my performance, but in the moment, I was like, oh, that went pretty well. And it was just like a big, whoo! So that was the funnest moment for me, the whole show, was that first audition at the Pantages in LA. And that's a huge theater, but when you get to Radio City Music Hall, I mean, you're obviously someone standing there by yourself. That stage eats you alive. You know,
Wow.
it is
Yeah.
just gigantic. So
It is.
Yeah.
I think for me, you know, I decided to just go in there and be honest and be myself. And the most inspiring thing was to hear from people about how much my story touched them. And like, I still get letters, because this show plays around the world, you know, like from people all the time, parents who are like, you reminded me that I need to make a connection with my kid. I haven't spoken to my kid in 2 years because they're gay or lesbian, or like 14-year-olds would write me and be like, I really want to come out to my parents. Can you help me? Like that kind of stuff. And it's incredible how just being yourself like has that kind of impact. And I never
Yeah.
realized that, and I'm not going to stop.
So how do you respond to all of those?
No, sorry.
Great impersonation there of that's Taylor Swift, right?
Wasn't that
No.
a flawless impersonation?
that is.
Don't you just need to like grab your crotch and like
Have a
stick
foam
your tongue
finger.
out?
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm leaving.
I'm right behind you.
You don't want to see her grab her.
Daniel's
Come on,
offended.
Well,
she's hot.
I
Her
would.
kids are watching.
Oh,
Come on,
sorry.
guys.
No,
Maybe.
they're.
and I have a fiance.
If your kids
sir.
are not in bed, then you're an irresponsible
You're all
mother.
soon. No, just kidding.
Eventually,
Eventually.
when I find her.
So I guess that I'm a little curious, seeing that you see the influence that you've had, and I guess it's how it's inspired so many people. do you guys feel pressure to a certain extent to kind of be a role model or to, to be this positive light that people see you in?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a pressure. I would say it's an honor at this point to be given that opportunity to be able to be in that position. And it's very special to be. Someone once called me an agent of change, and I was like, wow, that's kind of profound. Like, yeah, like
someone
you're actually,
called me a hero, but no,
you are a hero.
Was it Mariah Carey?
Yes,
She's
it was
a mom.
Mariah.
She's got the hardest job in the world.
It was no, I'm kidding. No, I don't. I mean, I think that you probably made like a huge impact with people because of your story.
Yeah,
I
it's
just yeah, I don't know.
And-
I mean, I don't think whatever. I mean, I'm just myself.
But they say laughter is the best medicine. So I mean,
It's true, that
you
and
definitely
penicillin.
Yeah.
healed some
I-
hearts.
I use aspirin, but yeah.
You were actually kind of
Right.
mentioning while we were screening that you came in as a comedian, but then you ended up being an impressionist for AGT. Can you develop that?
Well, it's funny because I was when I was going to audition, I thought, okay, I'm going to audition, and and I asked a few of my comedian friends, I'm like, maybe I should do a few impressions. And they're like, yes, you should do impressions. I'd done like 3 or 4, but mostly I'd just done stand-up. And then I thought, God, I don't know, I want to do impressions. And the comedians were like, why would you not do impressions? I was like, okay, because I was like, God, I don't want to be hacky, and I just want to do stand-up, and I want to do like real stand-up. And so they were like, God, if I could do impressions, I would do it. So when I auditioned for the first time, I did 4 impressions. That was my whole act. So I get why they started calling me the impressionist. But then I had thought about this a little bit before, but then I realized, okay, well, I can't really go back to just doing straight stand-up. Even though I always wanted to just get that first line in about who I was as a mom or something, I had to, stick with the impressions. So I had to come up with, brand new impressions, master them, and then write a brand new set of 90 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And that was hard. That was difficult, because it wasn't tested. Like my first set, some of that was tested, so I knew that I was going to get a laugh. But the other stuff was not tested, so I was kind of taking a gamble
But it
each time.
worked.
Yeah, I mean, it did work to the effect that my life is a little different now, and I had a blast doing it. But yeah, it was scary. I mean, like in New York, going, oh my God.
Speaking of life changes, how much has the show, changed your lives?
Go for it.
It's changed my life in the sense that, like, I think the most amazing thing is when people from other countries are Facebooking you. That's kind of crazy. That to me is like amazing. But I now do some work with Fandango, the movie ticket site, and I have a show called Mom's Movie Minute where I review movies from the mom perspective, and then my kids review it from the kid
It was
perspective.
too loud.
Yes, it was disgusting. My son loved it. And then I'm doing some, like press junket stuff. Like I just went to the Cannes Film Festival in France and
Nice.
covered How to Train Your Dragon 2. Yeah, so these
That's
are things
amazing.
That's
I
awesome.
was not doing
pretty
before.
great.
I was doing laundry and helping with my kids' homework, which I'm still doing. But to kind of have that is so that's great.
Cool.
Do you
part of it.
do more impressions now in your acts or straight
Yeah,
stand-up?
now I'm learning. Now I'm starting to learn new impressions, and I was just showing him later. I want to do a little Kristen Chenoweth for you, little
Yes,
AfterBuzz
Yes,
jingle.
please
I
do.
was just on the fly, but yeah. So now I'm trying to do more impressions. Like right now, I'm working on Anne Hathaway. I don't have her yet, but that's something I got to do for Fandango. So we're going to be doing a lot more impressions on Fandango, original sketch stuff.
How about you, Brandon?
Well, before the show, I was like straight up opera singer. I sang with Metropolitan Opera and here in Los Angeles at the Opera and Lyric Opera of Chicago. I was there for the last 4 years. And then like everything, like my whole world changed when I got on TV, and now I'm doing lots of TV and radio stuff. And let's see, I'm making 3 national TV appearances this year. Performing, I was just at the White House and at
Oh my
the Cherry
gosh.
Blossom Festival in DC, which was such an honor. I had my own float, and I had to
That's
practice like my
so
elbow, wrist wave all the way down the National Mall, which is super cool. I'm doing some great stuff in Philadelphia and Chicago for the tree lighting later this year. And I'm going to South Africa to sing for a Mandela family wedding. These are like the kind of crazy things.
Kidding
That's
me?
insane.
Yeah, which
That's
is awesome.
intense.
I hope you come
Great.
back.
Actually, I've been there once before to Johannesburg, and
It's really nice to meet you.
I'm not afraid of scary places. I actually like a little bit of grit, and unless you're like, oh, see, you're a troublemaker,
Huh?
so
What are you talking about?
you would be in a bad neighborhood looking for trouble. See,
I
just
totally would.
and then you get in trouble. But I'm not. I wouldn't do that.
Daniel's
so.
next trip is to North Korea. So
Oh,
that-
you and
Okay,
I
you're
have
gonna
a
be
one-way
fine.
you and
ticket.
Dennis
Yeah,
Rodman,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, me and Rodman are just
You're going
we're
back.
besties.
yeah,
You got to shave your head and dye it purple or something.
perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
So being
We're-
on AGT, was there a huge like surprise factor, or did you guys kind of think, all right, Kenichi's got this? Did you guys think that he was
They
going
probably
to go all the
thought
way?
they got this.
Well, after you
when
guys,
it came
of course.
down to it, I thought he was gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, he was definitely the overwhelming favorite amongst the judges and seemingly the public. So,
Yeah.
and his talent was so incredible.
This was a guy that did like virtually no marketing. I mean, he was not like tweeting and doing all this other stuff
Right.
and trying to campaign. This is just pure. People thought he was amazing, which I thought was.
And he was.
Yeah.
And
He was amazing. It was like, and now I'm supposed to do an act after that,
But
Yeah.
with that said, like as the rounds progressed, it was like, oh my god, I can't believe they got cut. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Anna Christine is gone. Like her performance was amazing.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. And you're like, oh, I can't believe I'm still around.
Or there's when you're standing next to Collins Key and Taylor, and it's like, oh, I wonder who's gonna get cut here. Let's go to commercial. The suspense is killing me. I mean, it was just like, oh, that was just.
It's funny. I think certain contestants were really, really great at playing the social media game.
Yeah.
And it helped them immensely. And
sure.
it's interesting how that has taken over. In some ways, these shows become a little bit of a popularity contest, and it's not always necessarily about your talent. It's like whether or not you're on Twitter 24 hours a day. Then you're gonna
Yeah,
win.
it's important.
I didn't even
social
have
media.
Twitter till they made us have it for America's Got
Oh.
Talent.
I didn't
She
know
made
that.
I
me
was
have
like,
Twitter
it's
for
called a
this.
Twitch.
I did.
Yeah.
See?
I
She
did.
did.
Because you have to play the game, right?
Yeah.
I
Right,
guess.
Daniel?
Yeah.
And now
I
I'm
have
on there
23
every
followers.
day.
You
So.
got it. Yeah, that's
Well
great.
done.
Well, 24
Well done.
now.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll
guys-
follow you after the show.
Yes, 25.
I wanted to thank you guys for joining us into the studio and screening and watching the show with us. You're
It was our
Thank
pleasure.
you guys.
more than welcome to come
I'm
visit
clapping,
us
not with my
anytime.
You guys are
Yes.
amazing.
Oh,
All of you.
no, you guys are amazing.
yeah, you
Let's
guys
be
could-
honest, we are amazing.
So let's hear your jingle.
You guys are great. You guys are really great. Okay. I loved Heidi's critique of the fan dance. You had the fan, and then you had the fans, and then everybody had the fans, and it was amazing.
That's all she does.
Great.
That was good.
Is
Yeah.
just point out, you danced, it was good. You sang a song.
You wore shoes. Wow.
So do you have that, Kristen? I want to hear.
Okay, here we go. I just wrote this down. Let me see if I have it.
She
Okay,
has
this
an
is
alphabet.
Kristen Chenoweth singing your new jingle. Okay, ready?
Okay.
This is gonna be weird with headphones on. Okay. AfterBuzz, you know you are popular. It's all about who you know. On the after show, they really make a fuss. But if you... Oh, sorry, shoot! Okay, they really make a fuss. But you can only see it if you're watching AfterBuzz.
Woo!
Okay, sorry, I messed that up.
that was wickedly awesome.
That was wickedly awesome.
You were wickedly talented.
What's your jingle, Brandon?
I don't have a jingle for AfterBuzz, but if I did, it would sound like this.
That's going on the end of
Phenomenal.
every show we
That
do.
is.
All
We're
right.
going to say
guys.
now
off the cuff.
the
sometimes
wickedly
you just gotta
talented
pull it
Adele
out.
Dazeem, and we're going to play that.
Thank you guys
Kaori,
so
you're
much.
next. Go ahead.
No. But
Our
you know,
jingle?
Where
Our
can,
jingle?
Where can your fans follow you guys, and what are you guys up to?
You can go to brandonjames.com to see the latest and greatest, or my Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/BrandonJames, or follow me on Twitter at Brandon J Music. It's BRANDENJ Music. Also Instagram.
Okay.
I take some pretty rad pictures.
I'm gonna
Pretty
follow
rad
you now.
picture. I know. We got to see these
You
pictures,
had me
man.
at rad and you winked, so wait a minute. All right, Angela.
You can catch me on MySpace.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I was like, what?
You can.
Friendster.
Friendster.
I have a pad of paper outside
Black
the
Planet?
studio. You can come by and sign your name on it. You can follow me on Angela Hoover 07. I don't even know if this is the right camera. That would be great. Angela Hoover 07.
That's the right camera.
Okay, yeah, Angela Hoover 07 on Twitter. You can go to angelahoover.com and watch me get frustrated with my children's homework and do laundry. And yeah, you can see me on Instagram doing all kinds of things. The Angela Hoover Comedy.
That's great. I'm so happy again. Thank you
Thank
again.
you guys.
Thank you guys so much for
You're
coming
the
in.
best.
We appreciate it.
It's
You
our
guys.
pleasure.
Definitely.
Where can we follow you guys?
You can find me on farmersonly.com. You could also find me on Twitter at It's Daniel Weiss, and also Facebook, Doctor Who Live, my improv group.
All right.
You can find me on Instagram at HeyKevinJohn. You can find me on my website is kevinjohn.com, and you can follow me home if you're cute. So, thank you, Mr. Weiss.
That just happened.
That totally just happened.
It's Weiss.
You can follow me on Twitter, HeyKevinJohn.
And you can follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter, KAORIOUS.
Spell it again.
And also go to iTunes and rate and comment, as well as on YouTube. We will keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us, and you can follow the whole AfterBuzz family at AfterBuzz TV. And we will thank you guys again,
Thank you for
you.
having me.
and we'll catch everyone else next week.
Bye-bye now.
AfterBuzz. We're gonna
Here's Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Let the Wookiee win!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.